So they finally released the, what is it, the public beta, basically, the public test round, PTR, for Dragonflight and the new tree systems. And of course, they did this the moment I left for work. So now I'm here, 3 in the morning, playing around with this. We just jumped in, got this set up, and I wanted to do the Demon Hunter first. She's the one I definitely know the most about. So I do want to get to the Evoker, but we'll do that separately on another time. So let's jump in and figure out what's kind of new with them. Specializations and talents. Ooh, only 26 points. I wonder if we gain, like, if there's ways to gain a lot more, but let's start going over these. So we have our, too far down, our Demon Hunter points. So we have our Vengeful Retreat, moves all snares and vaults away nearby enemies and takes, the nearby enemies take 376 physical damage. It looks like, so we need that. We can't see what we need, so we'll kind of just go through them. So Fell Rush gains an additional charge. It's like you only do one of those. We have the Sigil of Flame. Place the Sigil of Flame at the target location. It activates after 2 seconds, so this looks like it's the tank side of things. Where it deals 305 damage and an additional 753 damage over 6 seconds to all enemies affected by the Sigil, and generates 30 Fury. So this increases our max Fury, so it looks like our left side seems to be our DPS from what we're seeing here. So we have 2 ranks of the Unrestrained Fury, so we get a total, you get the increase of 20 maximum Fury. You got the Imprison a Demon, Beast, or Humanoid, incapacitating them for a minute, damage will cancel the effect. So kind of just our basics so far. The Healing of Shattered Souls is increased by 5%. It looks like we'd have to do that, because I like this as a DPS. It's kind of nice, but it makes more sense why a tank would have to have it. Vengeful Retreat, reduce the amount of speed of all nearby enemies. Well, that's good, because if you're trying to back off, then they can't really get to you as easy. Increases the range of Disrupt to 10 yards. For reason I thought that was decreased. I was like, why would you decrease it? So there's only 1 rank in there. You get 1 there. Bouncing Glaive. Throw Glaive ricochets to an additional target. Nice, so we can hit 4. I like that. I don't like some of these because, like, I never imprison anything. Ever. As DPS, I mean, I know in some raids and dungeons you would, but I don't ever do that. I don't ever imprison anything. I mean, I guess I can't say never because I have before, but it's rare. And to where you're limited on just those 3 things, the Demon, Beast, or Humanoid, normally we just, every group I've been in, we just kill shit. Consume 1 beneficial magic, removing it from the target. See, I think a lot of this is more into the high-end shit that you get with the elites that are pushing through all the mythic crap. It's not generally what I would do. But I'm a story player, not an elite player, so... For the Flames of Fury, Sigil of Flame generates 2 additional Fury per target hit. I got Pursuit. Mastery increases your movement speed. Well, I like that one. That's a good one. Because then we can actually, we have an ability to focus more on mastery than we do like we would agility or anything like that. So we would do like agility and mastery instead of any of the other stats. Because that's my favorite thing about the Demon Hunters is their mobility, their double jump, their glide, their, you know, especially the Havoc side, their Fell Rush, just moving around as much as they do. It's fantastic. It's why it's my favorite class. I'm actually hoping that the back there, get the double jump and the glide, but I'm hoping at least the glide, but I doubt the double jump. I haven't tried them yet, so maybe they do. We'll hopefully figure that out sometime in this PTR, just not this video. Disrupt generates 30 fury on a successful interrupt. That's a good one. I have no idea what that... Oh, well, you choose. Increases the critical strike chance of Immolation Aura by 6%. And charge to your target and deal 1900 fire damage. Demon's Bite also has a chance to reset. So this is the... What is it? The phase hunt ability, that charge. I'm assuming that's kind of what it seems like it's coming off as. I really like that. I don't like that you have to choose between them, but I would choose the charge. Again, I like the mobility. No, this is just... Maybe not. Yeah, because this is Fell Blade, not Fell Rush. That's different. So hopefully that is the Hunter's ability and you still get both. So Consume Magic generates 20 Fury when a beneficial magic effect is successfully removed. Cardboard Blades. You heal 5% of all fire damage you deal. That's a good one. But again, it looks like it's only down the tank side, and I don't... So I'm kind of hoping, like, if you go here, you don't need both of these to get here. We try it? Let's find out. So we can... I think we can... Yeah, see? You don't even have to apply. I like that. So... Can we move? Yes. Yes, I like that. You don't have to have both. You can have one or the other as long as an arrow is pointing to it. I like that. Right click to take it away. Okay. Sorry, I've never watched anybody's videos, anything on Dragonflight, so this is my first time interacting with any of it. Fellfire Haste. Fell Rush increases your movement speed by 10%. See what I mean? Mobility. Lots of speed with them. Master of the Glaive. Throw Glaive has 2 charges and snares all enemies hit by 50%. Beautiful. Rush of Chaos reduces the cooldown of Metamorphosis by 60 seconds. I've always liked that. Got another double. All sigils are now placed at your location, and the duration of their effect is increased. See, I prefer that. Placing the sigils while trying to move around quickly is kind of annoying, but that's me. A lot of people prefer to be able to place them, so you just don't choose that one. All sigils are now placed at your target's location. That's a good one, too. Again, you don't have to control it with the mouse. You put it on which target you want. I tab over what target a lot easier than I can with the placing it. Even in Guild Wars, I'm the same way. I don't like having to place my shit. I like being able to just move quickly. Lost in the Darkness. Spectral Sight lasts an additional 6 seconds if disrupted by attacking or damaging. Spectral Sight has never been a great thing. I mean, it works with the story, but it's never been something that I feel I've had to use in-game or like dungeons or raids. It's kind of a pointless ability. I mean, maybe there's something I don't know of why you would use it, but I've never found a reason that makes sense of why you would up its ability. Illidari Knowledge reduces magic damage taken by 2%. Soul Rendering. Leech increased by 5%. Gain an additional 10% leech while in Metamorphosis. See, that's what I like, because when Demon Hunters first came out, their survivability was insane. They could overly heal themselves, especially as Havoc. I'm not sure as tank. I don't do tank much. I know I've tried it, but... and I know I have myself a now, what is a level 50 tank, but it's been so long since I play, and I don't really master their abilities. I kind of just play through, so I'm not sure how well the tanks could heal themselves before, but the Havocs were fantastic, so I like that some of this is coming back a bit. Infernal Armor. Immolation Aura increases your armor by 10% and causes melee attackers to suffer 135 damage, which is great, because that would actually work with... Where was that one? You heal for 5% of all damage you deal, so that's kind of insane. Because you would heal for that damage, get your armor increase, and do damage. That's fantastic with those two together. I like that. Increases maximum health by 2%, so 4% total. It's got 2 ranks. So that means you can actually increase your armor maybe by 20%. Find out. Let's just jump down here real quick. Oh, we need more points. We have more points here. It's just, okay, we'll put it into the fire damage we planned on. Give us what we want. Oh, so yeah, so it goes up 20%, but the fire damage stays the same. And we have Chaos Nova unleashes an eruption of fell energy, dealing 830 chaos damage and stunning all nearby enemies. I know I generally chose this as a talent, but let's curious if we still will. I don't know. Not without going through and I mean I don't know how many points we get total. Because right now is at what, 26? I-Beam caused you to enter a demon form for 6 seconds after it finishes doing damage. I always love that one. The cooldown of Metamorphosis is reduced by 2 minutes, but its duration is reduced. Why would you want that? You could literally go with demon form after using your I-Beam, which, depending on, with especially the abilities we have now, I don't know how much that will change. You use your I-Beam a lot. Especially right now, I have the legendary where my I-Beam is just always going. So I'm not really sure what the benefit of the demonic origins would be. I would rather have that, especially if what was the one we were looking at? You gain an additional 10% leech while a metamorphosis is active. So I wonder if, because I know when Demon Hunters first came out, Metamorphosis, you would heal more with the attacks you would do. So I'm wondering if the 6 seconds here you get, if you would still get that bonus from the Metamorphosis. Because technically you are still in Metamorphosis mode. Place Sigil of Silence at the target location. Activates after 2 seconds. Silences all enemies. I never liked this one. Because 2 seconds is a long time during a battle. You would kind of have to know exactly when they're going to be going off, or have a group that generally goes off. I know there are some of the older, what was it, from Warlords of Draenor. There was a couple of the ogre mages that you knew they were going to set off that big old the flamethrowers all at the same time, and so that would work. But I've never, knowing when to use it all the time, I hated that one. That one just, I never used it. Chaos Fragments. Each enemy stunned by Chaos Nova has a 30% chance to generate a lesser soul fragment. So then we get one of those. But that's each enemy. Wasn't it 8 yards? Nearby enemies. That's helpful. How close is nearby? I guess melee range. Blur, increase your chance to dodge by 50% and reduce all damage by 20%. So you're they're kind of putting all the abilities and talents in here. Because even Blur was the only time I'd really ever used that was when getting fully overwhelmed. That was not very often either. Same with the darkness. Summons darkness around you in an 8-yard radius, granting friendly targets a 20% chance to avoid all damage from an attack in the last 8 seconds. So that's interesting though, because this is Havoc, since that's what I am. So you're getting some tank abilities and Havoc over here, just as the Demon Hunter in general. Okay, sorry, we'll keep going. Where are we at? We finished with Darkness, then our Sigil of Misery. Place the Sigil of Misery at the target location that activates after 2 seconds. Causes all enemies affected by the sigil to cower in fear and disorient them for 20 seconds. The Demon Muzzle. Enemies deal 8% reduced magic damage to you for 8 seconds after being afflicted by one of your sigils. So if you're a sigil user, it might be helpful for you. Especially for where that's reduced magic. Generally magic is ranged. So you may want to choose that one sigil that it places it at your target's location. If that's kind of how, if that's just the way you play. It's not the way I, but I don't care for the sigils. But maybe I will. Maybe depending on how I go through this, maybe I'll end up choosing them. Right? Wait. I skip shit. The Aldrachi design increases your chance to parry by 3%. You get 1 rank in that. That's it. Erratic Fell Heart. The cooldown of Fell Rush is reduced by 15%. I love it. See, and then I bet you get. We don't have a reset button, do we? Let's just reset all this crap. So we can just jump this direction. Come on, keep going. There we go. You're a pain in my ass. Come on, just. Oh my god. How many more do I need? 3 more points. Oh, 3. It tells me right here. Okay, so that's good to know. It shows you right here. You don't have to keep checking it. I always like my glaives to bound. And I wish you could choose like this one, but then you could go up and choose that one. Because the healing, you know, I wish you didn't have to choose that, because I don't use the sigils. But I guess maybe I will. Maybe this will kind of force me to. Get down to this one, because I'm assuming it goes up to 30%. Yep, so we do. We get a cooldown Fell Rushes by 30%, so more bouncing around. And let's see, we have the Long Night. Increases the duration of darkness by 2 seconds, and reduces the cooldown of darkness. So that's not really something I would choose either way. Generally, depending, I mean, it doesn't look like we're going to get too many points to spread out. It looks like it kind of one way or another. Oh, here's our hunt. So, okay, so we have the Fell Blade. Is the Fell Blade going to be our Fell Rush now? Because now we've got the hunt right here, where you charge at your target, doing 13,000 nature damage, rooting them in place for 1.5 seconds, and inflicting 16,000 nature damage over 6 seconds to up to the 5 enemies. Oh, it's in your path, that's right. So the pursuit invigorates your soul, healing you for 25% of the damage you deal to your hunt your target. I love this ability. I know it's not the strongest legendary, but I love using it. It's so much fun. I'm curious if it's still going to be blue, because it would make more sense if it was the Fell Green, but I like that. Well, not that I like, sorry. I want them to change, like you can change your tattoo colors. I kind of wish that your abilities would change with the colors of your tattoos. I think that would make sense. I keep slouching and I feel it, and it takes a while, and I have to figure it out, straighten up. Sorry, I'm exhausted. It's early, I guess. It's 3:30 in the morning now. So, improves Sigil Misery. Reduces the cooldown of Sigil of Misery by 30 seconds. Enemies take... Oh, sorry. Misery and Defeat, so these are your 2 options. Misery and Defeat. Enemies take 10% increased damage from all sources for 5 seconds. Your Sigil of Misery. Misery's effect on them ends soon. Increases, so the extended says it increases the duration of the sigils by 1 second. I'm assuming that probably goes up to 2 seconds with it having 2 ranks. Then it looks like your final abilities, you get Desperate Instincts. Your blur is now reduces damage taken by an additional 10%. Additionally, you automatically trigger Lure with 50% reduced cooldown and duration when you fall below 35% health. It's a good thing to have. Natural Malice increases the damage over time effects of the hunt by 30%. That's quite a bit. I mean, what? 30% of that, that's at least another 5,000. Right? That's quite a bit there. The cooldown of the hunt is reduced by 12 seconds whenever an enemy is killed while afflicted by its damage over time effect. That's damn good to have. I think it's a 1.5 minute cooldown. That makes that one difficult. So, I mean, you hit 5 people with the while charging. Here's if that counts the 5th person. So it says the 4 you go through, the 5 or the 5 in your path. So do you have to hit a 6 and have those 5? Whichever way it works. Either way, that's 5 people. So that's a minute cooldown. You kill all 5 of those within, I mean, how long does it last? 6 seconds. So you got 6 seconds to kill 5 people. So that drops your hunt down to 30-second cooldown. That's not too bad. That might happen a little bit more rare, so the damage might be even, especially during bosses, the increased damage over time would be better. The quick sigils, all sigils activate 1 second faster, and their cooldowns are reduced by 20%. So that would be good for that magic one that we were talking about where it has a 2-second crap. Because that takes too damn long for me. So we'll get to that. So now we've got our Havoc points. So we have an I-Beam. It's only 1 rank. Blast all enemies in front of you for up to 9,000 chaos damage over 1.6 seconds. Deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. So it looks like they're going back to that again. Good around electronics. Especially that electronic. Digital drawing pad, and it's gonna just get fried. Okay, so improved Chaos Strike. Chaos Strike damage is increased by 15%. Insatiable Hunger. So the Demon's Bite deals 20% more damage and generates 5 to 10 additional Fury. Demon's Blade. Your auto attacks deal an additional 290 shadow damage and generate. That's good to have. Do some math on that to figure out which one's going to be better. Full Glaive deals 25% increased damage for each enemy hit. So if you have the other one, that's up to 4 people. So I'm curious if it hits the first one, is that 25% for him, and then when it hits the second, it's 50% for him. The third would be 75%, and the fourth would get an extra full 100%. Or does it like backtrack? So once you hit all 4, it then takes more damage away from the other 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, or 3, depending on how many you hit. Demonic Appetite, Chaos Strike. Improved Fell Rush. Fell Rush damage is increased by 25%. So we do still have a Fell Rush. So it looks like going Havoc, you would have Fell Rush, a Blade if you wanted to, or you can actually charge to your target, and then you have the Hunt. The nice thing is you can combo this up, because, I mean, what is it? God. The Fell Rush, you launch through your group of enemies, and then you charge, or you can charge to your enemies, however you want to do this, and then you backflip away from them, then you use the Hunt again, and charge right back to them. I mean, that's just... It's Demon Hunter, you are just all over the place. There's Blood. Blade Dance deals 4,000 chaos damage to the first target struck. Dancing with Fate. The final slash of Blade Dance does an additional 50%. And Hatred. Immolation Aura generates an additional 60 Fury over 12 seconds. So every second you gain 5 Fury. Critical Chaos. Do any of these have 2, or are they all just... Sorry, I'm skipping some stuff. Critical Chaos. The chance that Chaos Strike will refund 20 Fury is increased by 25% of your Critical Strike chance. Guess that depends. That can be low, it can be high. Mortal Dance. Blade Dance now reduces your target's healing received by 50% for 5 seconds. Which could be good. You're definitely going up against another Demon Hunter if you're into PvP. Fell Fireheart increases the duration of Immolation Aura and the Sigil of Flame by 1 second. Initiative. It's a passive. I don't think we're going to look at the passive. Wow. Like I said, I'm tired. Damage an enemy before they damage you increases your critical strike chance by 5% for 5 seconds. Using Vengeful Retreat refreshes your potential to activate this on any enemy you're in combat with. That's fantastic. That's... Oh, sorry, Vengeful Restraint, but it is Vengeful Retreat. Okay, and another walk. Slip into the nether, increasing movement speed. Holy shit, you see this? By 100% and becoming immune to damage, but unable to attack. So, good way to get away. Maybe a way to heal up or just disappear for a bit. But either way, I mean, it's got a 3-minute cooldown though. Guess when you're just traveling across the land, may use it just to get there faster. I don't know where mounts will be allowed at, where they won't, but even just running back through dungeons. Let's see, when I-Beam finishes fully channeling, your haste is increased by an additional 10% for 12 seconds. This is under Furious Gaze. Fell Eruption. Looks like it costs 10 Fury, impels the target for 1100 Chaos damage, and stuns them for 4 seconds. That's another interrupt. I think that gives you 3 interrupts then. Thrill of Ruin. The final slash of Blade Dance inflicts an additional 2100 Chaos damage over 4 seconds. Unbound Chaos. Activating Immolation Aura increases the damage of your next Fell Rush by 250% the last 12 seconds. Damn. In combo. I-Beam generates 20 Fury every second, and its duration is increased by 25, and it looks like you can double up on that. So let's see if... We'll just click in here somewhere. Oh, with that one. And then keep going. There we go. So, yep. So it generates 40 Fury every second, and then its duration is increased by 50%. Damn. Hey, looks can kill. I-Beam deals guaranteed critical strikes. Like, holy shit. Wow. Enemies hit by your Throw Glaive takes 10% increased damage from I-Beam. So you can just combo that shit up. So I use Immolation Aura. Was it the charge? I don't know. Just charge in there, you throw your glaive at him, and then start just I-Beam. Using I-Beams. I mean, that means that will go up to 20% since there's 2 ranks. Immolation Aura damage increases by 8% each time it deals damage. So I'm assuming that goes up to 16%. Nope, 15. That's kind of weird. It only goes up by 7%, but whatever, I guess. Vengeful Retreat has a 5-second reduced cooldown and generates 80 Fury over 10 seconds. Nice way to use up your I-Beam and deals damage, back off, and come back for more. Holy shit. Okay, so Isolated Prey. Chaos Nova, I-Beam, and Fell Rush gain bonuses when striking one target. That's great for bosses. Except for the stun. Stuns don't generally work, so Chaos Nova stun duration is increased by 2 seconds. I-Beam deals 30% increased damage. Holy shit, they are just putting a lot into I-Beam. Fell Rush generates an extra 25 to 35 Fury. So the I-Beam thing is really good on bosses. When you activate Metamorphosis, the cooldowns of Blade Dance and I-Beam are immediately reset. Can't remember if that was an auto thing before, because I know my character does that now, but I don't remember if it was auto, if they auto get that or not as a passive. But that's when you activate it, not just when you are. It's because, you know, when you use the I-Beam one, you turn into the Metamorphosis for 6 seconds, so, but I don't think that would make it work. It would be nice, though. So the Relentless Onslaught Chaos Strike has a 10% chance to trigger another second strike. I have that, but it's... I can't remember if it was a talent. The Burning Wound. Throw Glaive leaves open wounds on your enemies, dealing 1900 chaos damage over 15 seconds and increases damage taken from your Immolation Aura by 45%. Maybe applied up to 3 targets. So it looks like it won't apply to your 4th target. Unless that changes, like maybe when you select that talent, no, because it's already selected, so it would just be the 3. Okay, Momentum. Fell Rush, the Hunt, and Vengeful Retreat increase your damage down by 12%. Chaos Theory. Blade Dance causes your next Chaos Strike within 8 seconds to have 14 to 30% increased critical strike chance. Restless Hunter. Leaving demon form grants a charge of Fell Rush and increases the damage of your next Blade Dance by 50%. Inner Demon. Entering demon form causes your next Chaos Strike to unleash your inner demon, causing it to crash into your target. Deals 3600. Fell Bombardment. Immolation Aura has a chance to grant you a stack of Fell Bombardment, increasing the damage that your next throw glaive deals to your primary target by 50% and launching an additional glaive at a nearby target. This effect stacks up to 5 times. Interesting. So, curious, if you throw a glaive at one target, it can bounce to 3 other people. Does that random launching additional glaive to a nearby target then can still hit up to them and 3 other people, or does it just hit that nearby target? So let's find out. Rage Fire. Each time Immolation Aura deals critical damage, 50% of the damage is gathered as Rage Fire. When Immolation Aura expires, you explode, dealing all stored Rage Fire damage to nearby enemies. Curious if this is going to be fire, or is it going to be Fell Fire? Like, is it going to be green, or is it actually going to explode in red? Know your enemy. Gain critical strike damage equal to 50% of your critical strike chance. I'm assuming that's going to go up to 100? More. Yep. So you gain a critical strike damage equal to 100% of your critical strike chance. Nice. And Blade Tempest. Launch 2 demonic glaives in a whirlwind of energy, causing 7,800 chaos damage over 2 seconds to all nearby enemies. I love this ability. Oh, but you have to choose, because I always use both of these. This is your Fell Barrage. Unleashes the torrent of Fell energy over 3 seconds, inflicting 14,000 chaos damage to all enemies within 8 yards. Does reduced damage beyond 8 targets. That's got a 16-second cooldown. This has a minute cooldown, but I always use both because you throw the glaives, and while they're spinning around you, you use the Fell Barrage, and you can move with this. That sucks that they teamed them up. Cycle of Hatred. Blade Dance, Chaos Strike, and Glaive Tempest reduce the cooldown of I-Beam. See? Reduces the cooldown. You have so much shit that just buries into I-Beam. You're using it all the time. Fodder of the Flame. Your damaging ability have a chance to call forth a demon from the Theater of Pain for 25 seconds. Throw Glaive deals lethal damage to the demon. Also, this is the other legendary. This is the one you get from... Oh my god, I can't remember the Covenant's name. The Undead Army Covenant. Can't remember their name off the top of my head. Again, tired. It's almost 4 in the morning. And you throw a glaive, deals lethal damage to the demon, which they explode on death, dealing 5,000 damage to the enemies and healing you for 25% of your maximum health. The explosion deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. The Elysian Decree. Place a Kyrian sigil, so this would be, I'm assuming, a Kyrian one. I haven't tried theirs yet. At the target location, activates after 2 seconds. The 2-second theme. Detonates to deal 10,000 arcane damage and shatter up to 3 lesser soul fragments from the... Oh, I'm so exhausted. Soul fragments from enemies affected by the sigil deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. You get one or the other on that one. So red. Throw a glaive causes targets to take an additional 60% of damage dealt as chaos over 6 seconds. Assuming... I don't know what that would go up to. 120. It does go up to 120%. Impressive. So, Essence Break. Slash all enemies in front of you for 10,000 chaos damage and increase your damage. Your Chaos Strike and Blade Dance deal to them by 100% for 4 seconds. Deals reduced damage beyond 8 targets. That's new. Shattered Destiny. The duration of your active demon form is extended by 0.1 seconds per fury spent. That's nice. I'm curious, does that work also on the 6-second demon form? I mean, it's not by very long, because I mean, hell, you'd have to spend, what, 60 fury to get even an extra second? Any means necessary. Mastery Demonic Presence now also causes your single school magic damage to be dealt as chaos instead. So I'm not sure what all that would affect. It's like all these just choose the same ones. They have your Cleanse by Flame, Immolation Aura dispels all magic effects on you when cast. Reverse Magic removes all harmful magical effects from yourself and all nearby allies within 10 yards and sends them back to their original caster if possible. Throw Glaive now deals damage from a random school of magic and increases the target's damage taken from the school by 10% for 20 seconds. Demonic Origins, the cooldown metamorphosis is reduced by 2 minutes, but its duration, that's so... It looks like they're kind of just adding the same abilities. It seems dumb. Rain from above, you fly into the air out of harm's way. While floating, you gain access to Fell Lance, allowing you to deal damage to enemies below. I always like that one, but I don't do much PvP. Detainment in prisons, PvP duration is increased by 1 second. The targets become immune to damage and healing while in prison. Blitz, Vengeful Retreat, provides immunity to loss of control effects and reduces the damage taken by 75% until you land. An Unending Hatred. Taking damage causes you to gain fury based on the damage dealt. That could be a good one. Blood Moon consumes magic, now affects all enemies within 8 yards, and grants 5% leech for 5 seconds. So that's a good one, even if you're not consuming anything. Sigil Mastery reduces the cooldown of your sigils by an additional 25%. Good for sigil users. Mortal Dance. Blade Dance now reduces target healing received by 50% for 5 seconds. Cover of Darkness. The radius of darkness is increased by 4 yards and its duration by 2 seconds. Always good for bigger party. I'd have to finish this in the morning. Kinda sucks, but there's no way I can do this and focus well enough. So we'll get back to it then. Okay, so back to morning. I've kinda did this to wake myself up a bit. I went through and chose what I would choose for now. And let's jump over to our Vengeance. We can see what they have. Jump back, so it looks like even with Vengeance, it resets everything, so you can actually do both. You can, when changing them up, it won't keep like all of this when you set it up. So, which is nice for those that change back and forth a lot. So we only still get 25 points. So first you start off with your Fell Devastation. Unleash the Fell within you, damaging enemies directly in front of you for 6,200 fire damage over 2 seconds. Causing damage also heals you for up to 13,000 health. We have Frailty. Enemies struck with Sigil of Flame are afflicted with Frailty for 5 seconds. You heal for 8% of all damage you deal to targets with Frailty. So that can actually stack on top of that Charred Warblades, where you heal for 5% of all the fire damage you deal. It's kind of nice. So, Fiery Brand. Brand an enemy with a demonic symbol, instantly dealing 4,200 fire damage. Where'd you go? The enemy's damage done to you is reduced by 40% for 10 seconds. We'll probably need one in each. Now we got a dog going nuts. Let's see. Deflective Spikes. Demon Spikes also increase your parry chance by 15% for 6 seconds. Retaliation. While Demon Spikes is active, melee attacks against you cause the attacker to take 316 physical damage and generates high threat. Calcified Spikes. You take 10% reduced damage after Demon Spikes ends, fading by 1% per second. So the last 10 seconds, I'm guessing. So Sheer Fury. You either get Sheer Fury or Sheer generates 5 additional Fury, or Fracture. You rapidly slash your target for 2,900 physical damage and shatter 2 lesser soul fragments from them. You have the Perfectly Balanced Glaive. Reduce the cooldown of Throw Glaive by 6 seconds. Roaring Fire. Fell Devastation heals you for up to 30% more based upon your missing health. Abyssal Hate. Reduces the cooldown of Infernal Strike by 8 seconds. Fell Flame Fortification. You take 5% reduced magic damage while Immolation Aura is active. And I don't know these ones as well as I do Havoc. And you gotta love this. This happened 3 times while I was building my Havoc side. It's done this. Soul Furnace. Every 10 soul fragments you consume increases the damage of your next Soul Cleave or Spirit Bomb by 40%. Soul Cleave heals you for an additional 1,900 over 6 seconds. Pains of Anger increases the radius of your sigils by 1 yard. Looks like you can do it up to 2 yards once you get, both ranks. Extended Spikes, 2 ranks, increases the duration of Demon Spikes by 1 second, so 2 seconds I'm assuming. Agonizing Flames, 2 ranks. Immolation Aura increases your movement speed by 10% and its duration is increased by 25%. Let's see if both of those go up. We need to spend more points. Yep, it'll go up to 20% and 50%. So the Soul Barrier, shield yourself for 12 seconds, absorbing 13,000 damage, and consumes all soul fragments within 25 yards to add 2,600 to the shield per fragment. Or you can choose Bulk Extraction. Demolition. Demolish the spirit of all those around you, dealing 950 fire damage to nearby enemies and extracting up to 5 lesser soul fragments, drawing to them your immediate consumption. Which would be good, another stack on top of the Charred Warblades. So it seems that's going to be almost an essential one. Now I get lost again. Oh, we were here, right? Yeah, because the fire damage. Okay. And then this is Burning Blood. Fire damage increased by 8%. And Void Reaver. Frailty now also causes afflicted enemies to deal 4% reduced damage to you for 5 seconds. Enemies struck by Soul Cleave are afflicted with Frailty for 5 seconds. Not enough sleep. It's still only 9 in the morning. I didn't go to bed till after 4. Volatile Flame Blood. When Immolation Aura deals critical damage, it shatters a lesser soul fragment from the enemy. This effect may only occur once every 1.5 seconds. Collective Anguish. Fell Devastation summons an allied Havoc Demon Hunter who casts Eye Beam, dealing 6,900 chaos damage over 1.6 seconds. Deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. Fallout. Immolation Aura Initial Burst has a chance to shatter lesser soul fragments from enemies. Revel in Pain. When Fiery Brand expires on your primary target, you gain a shield that absorbs up to 13,000 damage for 15 seconds, based on your damage dealt to them while Fiery Brand is active. Spirit Bomb. Consume up to 5 available soul fragments when... Then explode. Consume up to 5 available soul fragments, then explode, damaging nearby enemies for 800 fire damage per fragment consumed, and afflicting them with frailty for 5 seconds, causing you to heal for 8% of the damage you deal them. Deals reduced damage. I think that said beyond 8 people, which is another thing you stack on top of that charred, whatever the hell the talent was called. Just increasing your healing even more. Not what we want. Wow. Find the right one. Deals reduced damage beyond 8 targets. So yeah, so you stack that on top of Charred Warblades, and you're good. Painbringer. Consuming a soul fragment reduces all damage you take by 1% for 4 seconds. Multiple applications may overlap. I'm assuming it goes by 2 seconds, or up to 2% for 4 seconds. Guess we can always jump down here and find out. Yeah, so it's still 2% for 4 seconds. Dark Glare. Boon. When Fell Devastation finishes fully channeling, it refreshes 10 to 20% of its cooldown and refunds 10 to 20 Fury. Fiery Demise. Fiery Brand also increases fire damage you deal to the target by 25%. I'm assuming that, once again, is going to be... Oh, that's not good. Is that it's the same thing. The next rank is 25% as well. That's not good. So like, go report that or something. Okay, Sigils of Chains. Place the Sigil of Chains at the target location that activates after 2 seconds. All enemies affected by the sigil are pulled to its center and are snared, reducing movement speed by 70% for 6 seconds. Focus Cleave. Soul Cleave deals 50% increased damage to your primary target. Soulmonger. When consuming a soul fragment would heal you above full health, it shields you instead for up to a maximum of 11,000. Pretty much 11.9, so almost 12,000. I'm assuming that'll go up as you level. Ruinous Bulwark. Fell Devastation heals for an additional 10%, and 50% of its overhealing is converted into an absorbed shield for 10 seconds. Burning Alive. Every 2 seconds, Fiery Brand spreads to one nearby enemy, which would be another good thing with on top of the charred warblades. The more fire damage, the more you stay healed. Cycle of Binding. Afflicting an enemy with sigil reduces the cooldown of your sigils by 2 seconds. Vulnerability. Frailty now also increases all damage you deal to afflicted enemies by 4%. Feed the Demon has 2 regs. Consuming a soul fragment reduces the remaining cooldown of demon spikes by 0.25 seconds. So I'm assuming that would go up to 50. Yeah, so half a second. Charred Flesh, 2 ranks. Immolation Aura increases the duration of your fiery brand by 0.25 seconds, which again goes up to half a second. The Weak-Willed. Multiple applications of Frailty may overlap. Soul Cleave applies Frailty to your primary target for 5 seconds. It says multiple, so I'm curious how many. Is it just unlimited, as much as you can go? Soul Carver. Carve into the soul of your target, dealing 6,900 fire damage and an additional 3,000 fire damage over 3 seconds. Immediately shatters 2 lesser soul fragments from the target and 1 additional lesser soul fragment every 1 second. Looks like another good one to have with the charred warblades. More fire healing. Last Resort. Sustaining fatal damage instead transforms you into Metamorphosis form. This may occur once every 8 minutes. Okay. It transforms you, but do you gain extra life out of it? Do you stay at like 2% health? What happens? Or I guess maybe what you stay at the percentage you would have died at. So if you have 10,000 health and they hit you with 12,000, maybe you keep the 10,000? This node isn't active, so we have a blank space here. Elysian Decree. Place the Kyrian Sigil at the target location that activates after 2 seconds. Detonates to deal 11,000 arcane damage and shatter up to 3 lesser soul fragments from enemies afflicted by the sigil. Deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. And Down in Flames. Fiery Brand has 1 additional charge, which could be, if you can get down to both of these, would be a good way to keep yourself alive as a tank. So that ends it for our Demon Hunter, and I guess until we get whatever the hell this is. So I will probably finish going up over other things, like especially the UI is one thing I want to go figure out. So I may or may not make a video on that. I'm sure other people have that can go into way better depth than I can, or that will. So we'll see how this goes, and maybe we'll jump into Drakthir at some point. I know I will, but I don't know if we'll do it this way. So, bye for now.